Hey, guess what? We've got another project. In our Cascade, we ended up buying the option without the stove, which gave us a really nice big drawer to use, which is fabulous, except the fact that, I put too much stuff in there, and this is what happens. You end up getting a lot of this rubbing going on because the bottom of the drawer is kind of light. It's Luann, which really didn't stay very well. So my project today is I am going to reinforce the bottom of this drawer to basically handle my incredibly heavy pots and pans. I'm using a 1/4-inch piece of plywood here, trying to have as minimal weight added as possible, but we are adding weight. I'm gonna roll this over here. The problem that we're having is this Luann here, with the weight of all of my awesome kitchen utensils, is straining against this and pulling all these little staples out. The problem is I don't really have any room to replace that. So what I'm doing instead is adding a piece on the inside, and then I'm going to screw it from the bottom as well as nail it from the sides to try to add some additional robustness. Alright, so I cut this piece amazingly well, so well that it fits in there almost perfectly, because that's me, I'm awesome. What I'm going to do in addition is to put some Gorilla Glue on here and press that wood in. The wood that I have has a slight bow to it, so we're going to make sure that that bow is up. With the weight of our stuff, it'll flatten out a little better. I had no idea that you're supposed to add water. Lightly dampen the surface with water. I had no idea. I think I've used this multiple times and never actually read the directions. Lightly dampening the surface. Next, I'm screwing the Luann to the plywood using multiple very short screws.
Just be sure and drive all the way in.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Need something to indent that.
Yeah.
Where it goes into.
We quickly realized that we need to recess the heads a bit more than I could do with my simple screwdriver. I'm using a drill bit that's the size of the screw head to remove just a little bit of the Luann so the screws will be flush. If you don't do this, the screw heads might get caught on the bottom lip of the cabinet as I pull the drawer in and out. For the side screws, I simply use some of the screw holes that were already in the railing, which is great. Did the same thing on the other side. Finally, I let the glue sit for a few hours with our hand weights inside to help set the glue. Alright, I ended up adding that 1/4-inch piece of plywood on the bottom. Ended up adding some screws to the Luann along with some of the Gorilla Glue. I also added some side screws that would help a little bit of that lateral force as well. So I think that is pretty good. But since I had this out, I thought, this is a good time for me to figure out how to better organize this drawer. It's great, it's large, but it's a little unruly and it's difficult to keep everything organized. So I'll show you what I did. Alright, so I didn't want to add anything permanent because I'm really not sure whether this will work or not. But what I ended up doing is I had some scrap plywood around. So I created this piece over here to kind of have a lot of the like pans and stuff that can be vertical, and then created 2 open areas. I've got a little mouse hole back here for my my rolling pin, and yes, I have a rolling pin. I'll show you then with all of it completely packed once it's in the camper. All right, now we have the drawer back installed with the pieces. Definitely better. On ours was had quite a bit of a gap there when we were getting in, mainly because that bottom piece was sagging so much. We had saggy drawers. So this is the drawer fully populated with all my crap. So we've got our pizza pans, we've got bacon grease kind of thing, pans, you know, whatever, nested bowls, all of the reusable bags, some pots and pans, my immersion blender, coffee grinder. So I think so far I'm gonna stick with this for right now and see how this works. I still don't like the fact that I have to dig through the pans in order to get the right one, but I'm not sure if it's worth putting on its side and the space waste to do that. So if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching.